World War II had ended, and the world had changed. But as the dust settled, a new war began. Not one fought with weapons, but one of ideologies. The United States and the Soviet Union, two superpowers who had once fought side by side against the Axis powers, found themselves facing off in a bitter rivalry that would define much of the 20th century. This was the Cold War. The U.S. stood for democracy and capitalism, while the Soviet Union embodied communism and a single-party state. As these two ideologies clashed, the world was drawn into a global contest for dominance. Over the next several decades, both sides would compete for control, influence, and power. Not just on the battlefield, but in the hearts and minds of people around the globe. The seeds of the Cold War were sown during World War II. Although the U.S., Great Britain, and the Soviet Union were wartime allies, the victory over the Nazis only served to expose deep ideological divides. At the Yalta Conference in 1945, three major leaders, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, and Joseph Stalin, came together to discuss Europe's future. But beneath the surface of their cooperation, tension was already brewing. With Europe in ruins, the U.S. and the Soviet Union divided it into spheres of influence. Stalin's forces quickly occupied Eastern Europe, establishing communist governments, while the U.S. and its allies worked to rebuild democratic nations in Western Europe. This division would set the stage for what would become known as the Iron Curtain, a boundary that split the world in two. By 1946, Winston Churchill famously described the ideological divide as an iron curtain that had descended across the continent. This line split Europe between communist-controlled East and democratic West. But Berlin, the heart of Germany, would become the ultimate battleground for this ideological war. Berlin itself was divided into East and West, though it lay deep within the Soviet-controlled East Germany. In 1948, the Soviets attempted to starve West Berlin by cutting off all access, hoping to force the Allies out. The U.S. and its allies responded with the Berlin Airlift, sending planes to drop food and supplies to the citizens of West Berlin for almost a full year, showing the determination to defend freedom against Soviet aggression. But the Cold War wasn't just a battle of words or ideas. It was also a race for nuclear supremacy. The U.S. and the Soviet Union quickly turned to atomic weapons, each seeking to outdo the other in this terrifying new arms race. In 1945, the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, ending World War II. 4 years later, the Soviet Union detonated its first atomic bomb. This event set off a dangerous arms race as each side built more powerful and destructive weapons, leading to a period of global fear and uncertainty. By the 1960s, the U.S. and the Soviet Union were locked in an ever-accelerating race to stockpile nuclear weapons, with enough power to destroy the world many times over. The concept of mutual assured destruction, or MAD, came to define the standoff, where neither side would strike first, knowing that a full-scale war would end. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more history content. What do you think about the legacy of the Cold War? Let us know in the comments below.